Welcome to another episode of The Real Bar Podcast, bringing you the realest updates on everything from working out, healthy lifestyles, day-to-day struggles, and life experiences. This is The Real Bar Podcast.
What's up? Welcome back to the Real Bar Podcast, episode 4. This is our first guest episode, which I'm excited about. I have Sarah Eggan here with me, who's like a family friend. Sarah?
Hey.
How you doing, Sarah?
Good. How are you? Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no problem. Just like a little background on why I and Tino agreed to have Sarah on. She's like a longtime family friend of mine. So she's into fitness, which is something I've been into and I'm trying to get back into. And she's just, like I said, really close. So it was just easy. Like I knew she would say yes. Like she's just a nice person like that. So it was easy to get her on.
Well, thank you for being a nice person.
Especially when no one else probably would have came. But,
exactly.
First thing I want to do is kind of just jump into our weeks, how everything went. So Tino, what'd you do this week as far as anything, work, anything like that? Nutrition?
Yeah, I mean, just in general. I mean, got my workouts in. But in addition, nutrition part of it kind of went to crap on the weekend. Went to Omegang Brewery. That was fun, but it's the Sunday guilt. Guilt's kicking in where you're like, oh, I did all this work during the week, and now I just ruined it.
I saw like a nutrition chart on Twitter or something like that where like someone ate like 2,100 calories all week, and then Saturday and Sunday they ate like 3,500. Then their weekly average turned out to be like 2,600. Like they ruined their whole diet with 2 days, which I do that a lot, but I've been better. Sarah, what'd you do this week?
Aside from work, going to yoga 2 or 3 times this week, and one thing that I did do pretty badly was eating out a lot.
The eating part, that's the toughest.
Yeah, no, eating's tough. I've been better with it in the past 3 weeks. So, what'd you do as far as working out this week? I didn't ask you that. Did you get your workouts in?
Yeah, I mean, it was just mainly weight training, bouncing around from Fitness Mill, and the YMCA, stuff like that.
Okay.
So I'm still on the same workout plan.
Yeah, it's going good.
Yeah. I mean, weights
sure.
are going up, seeing progress and stuff, but it's hard to out-train a bad diet. So if I keep cheating on the weekends, it's going to be impossible.
We had a good workout on Monday. We got our first monthly or whatever you want to call it, workout in, right? We're going to start doing Mondays from now on together in the morning.
Yeah.
It was. we were laying in bed, really trying to hope one of the other person said they didn't want to do it anymore.
Yeah, Sarah, are you a morning person? Like when it comes to working out, like can you get up, be like, 6 in the morning?
No.
I can vouch for that. Probably like a year ago now, but I texted her because I was back on my morning workouts, and I was like, hey, like let's go 5:30 or whatever. And she was like, yeah, I can do that. 5:30 works. So I pulled into her driveway at 5:15. Pitch dark. All the lights were off. I'm sitting there like, yo. So I'm sitting there like, what the fuck? So I call her. I go, yo, I'm outside. It's snowing, dude. So I shoveled my truck off. I'm like, yo, where the fuck are you at? She was like, oh, Mason, I thought you meant 5:30 p.m. I go, are you out of your fucking mind? So she got up and went with me.
5:30 a.m.
5:30?
Yeah.
I think I did that like twice last year, and that's it.
Not for me.
It was definitely rough. But a few things I want to talk about. As far as current events, stuff going on like today, what do you guys think about the Cardi B little scandal that's going on with the alleged, well, not alleged, she actually admitted it, but saying that she used to steal and drug people like when she was working in her industry, like stripping and stuff like that?
Yeah, I mean, I'll give a short and sweet answer of my take on that. I didn't really dive into it on the news or look into it that much, just what you see on social media. It's wrong. You can't drug people. You can't steal. I mean, I think it's pretty
You
obvious.
can. It's a free country.
You can. It's
Clearing
wrong.
that up.
It's wrong. It's not something I would do.
All right, so no chance. You're not feeling it at all?
No. She's got to be held accountable for it.
I agree with that.
Yeah, no other opinion? You just think it's wrong?
No, it doesn't really matter what point in your life that you did whatever crime you committed. You still should be held accountable.
Really? You think no matter when you committed the crime? That's a bold statement. You're saying no matter, you've never done anything that could have potentially been illegal that like you wouldn't do now?
She said you should be held accountable.
Dude, I don't know.
She didn't say prosecuted either. She just said held accountable.
I agree. Oh, well, held accountable is a lot different. You don't think, do you think legal action should be taken no matter when you did it, is my question.
I think that's in the hands of the victims.
No, that's bullshit. Are you kidding?
Interesting.
I think it depends on the fucking crime. That's crazy. Like, I definitely agree with all, like, the women speaking out on, like, people that have, like, sexually abused, stuff like that. Like, yeah, that's in the hands of the victims. But something, like, small, not the Cardi B situation, but something, like, smaller, I don't think if someone brings some shit up 2 years ago, like, oh, this dude fucking stole a candy bar from my gas station 2 years ago and I just figured out who he was. Like, get the fuck out of here, dude. What? I don't think is that what you're saying?
The
You really
Reese's
think
Cups bandit.
You think that's how it works or should work?
No.
So
If
it depends on the level of the
yes,
crime.
yeah.
All right.
Definitely.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of factors to take into account. I mean, like I said, short and sweet. I mean, you can't drug someone to steal from them, and that's just my take on that.
And you don't think her, like I said, the way she's kind of justifying it is like that's the situation she was in. That's how she had to pay her bills. Like some of the guys were like just scumbags. Like
Everybody's going
No.
through something.
I feel like there's a lot of different options you could take. You don't have to drug someone to take their stuff. You know?
Another question is like, do you even think this would be relevant if it wasn't Cardi B? Because this is shit people dug up from 3 years ago. So that's also something I think is a little bullshit. Like it's because she's in like the limelight where like someone's gonna bring up Instagram posts from 3 years ago.
I think with any celebrities and stuff, people try to dig and find stuff and have it go to the forefront of the news. I think that definitely plays a part into it.
I think the people that look it up are more scumbags than anything. Like they're trying to ruin someone's career, like for past mistakes. And I understand mistakes are mistakes, but don't try to dig the fucking.
Some mistakes are worth it though. When you find out certain things about,
I guess.
it's all situational.
Yeah,
All
for
situational.
sure. Another current event. What do you guys think about these celebrities, parents, people that are wealthy, paying for their kids to get into Ivy League schools and just like popular colleges around the U.S. and probably other places too? But what do you think about that?
I mean, my take on that is it's wrong. I mean, you can't pay your way into you can, but
yeah.
you shouldn't.
It's been
okay?
done.
You just do such a disservice to your kids. Why? What's the point?
Yeah, like what do you think? Like example-wise, what does that set? Like I know what I think. I'm curious to see what you think.
Basically, you're teaching your kids that they can buy their way into anything and they don't have to work hard to be successful.
Yeah.
I feel like that's kind of true though, especially with these people. Like, I get setting a bad example because like you want your kids to like do the right thing, whatever. But these kids, like a lot of them, really will never have an issue. Like everyone has their shit they go through, but they're never gonna have a problem with like not being able to get something.
No
they want.
resilience.
So like it's not like their parents are setting a bad example. What it is, but like it's not like that's not how the rest of their life's gonna work. So you know what I mean? It's not like they're setting them up for failure because that's gonna happen the rest of their life regardless.
Yeah, but I also think it's detrimental to the kid in the
yeah.
sense like what happens when that moment comes where their parents can't get them out of a situation.
They have no coping skills because they've never been in that situation before.
Right. Like what happens?
Yeah, no, I agree with that. And what do you think? Excuse me. What do you think as far as who should be held more accountable? I don't know if you think 50-50. Like my opinion on it is I think the college should be held more accountable because that's like they have the final say so on who gets in and who doesn't.
Yeah, when you say like who should be held more accountable, I think yes, it's the schools because ultimately they're allowing that action to happen.
Yeah.
They're both at fault, but ultimately the schools are allowing that to happen.
What do you think, Sarah?
I think it's worse on the parents' end because they're teaching their kids, that they don't have to work hard. So that's
the moral fiber that you're instilling there or lack of.
Yeah, no, I can see both sides. I kind of wanted to get right into like the main conversation of this so we can get going. Sarah, it's obviously going to be based around you for the majority of the episode. So my first question to you is, since I know personally you're into fitness, where did your interest in fitness like start, or sports or anything? Like, where did it spark? How did you decide like, okay, I want to eat healthy, I want to work out, like that shit?
Yeah. So growing up, I was always really active. I always played gymnastics, figure skating, softball, basketball with my sisters. And about 9th, 10th grade, I met Mason through a travel basketball league. And he was actually our team mascot. He had this big orange basketball head. So 10th grade, I tore my ACL playing basketball. And I held off on the surgery so I could play my JV year of softball. And so February I tore it, and then May I had the surgery. That was, of course, 10th grade. So I was starting to think about what I wanted to do for college, and the rehabilitation biomechanics stuck with me from physical therapy.
Okay.
So I pursued a bachelor's in exercise science.
All right, that's cool. That's interesting. I didn't know it dated that far back all the way to like basketball when I had to be like 7, 8 years old. Yeah, like I was a little kid.
I think the real telling story there is you were a mascot.
That's just how I like to live my life, dude. I'm a mascot for everybody, dude.
I wish we
like
still had that.
I'm always just pumping people up. But all right, second question, like what's your experience as far as like in the field, certifications, anything like that?
After my bachelor's degree, I got the Certified Exercise Scientist certification from ACSM, and then I pursued my master's degree in health promotion, which I ended up with a Certified Health Education Specialist.
That's great. So you got some serious, like you're really into this shit. Like it's not, you got a master's, which is crazy.
And you need continuing education for both of those certifications. So,
which was the hardest certification, you think?
Definitely the exercise science. I passed that by the skin of my teeth.
You have a cert in exercise science, or is that like you're saying your bachelor's degree?
ACSM in as an exercise scientist.
What did you think about like the schooling process? Because I went to school for the same thing, bachelor's degree wise. How hard do you think like kinesiology is as compared to how many jobs there are when you get out?
The bachelor's degree itself was very challenging for me. I'm usually a straight A student, and I struggle just to get C pluses in chemistry and biology. But I passed, so I got where I am today. Getting a job after college was another story, especially in the Central New York area. I took 2 years off after my bachelor's degree to search for a job. I thought I wanted to do personal training, but you can't get a personal training job without any experience. So that led me...
The question becomes, though, like, so where do you get the experience
Exactly.
Yeah, I think that's with anything. The thing I kind of find and still find the most challenging about the degree that I have and she has, even though she has an advanced one beyond, is like for how hard the schooling is. Like all the science classes we had to take, like math courses up to calculus, chemistry, physics, chemistry 2, like A&P, all these hard classes and courses that a lot of people don't have to take. And when we get out, the field isn't that large here. Like if you move somewhere like California, Florida, South Carolina, like more, I guess, weather generous places where there's nicer weather, like people want to look better, like there's more job opportunities.
Demand.
Yeah, exactly. Perfect words. There's more demand for it. But around here, it's just the field's not there. And it sucked because I worked my ass off in school and did stuff that a lot of people couldn't do to this day, like class-wise, and I don't get rewarded for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
that's tough.
It's tough.
And I had the same issue with any job in general.
Yeah.
You know, like depending on the field you want to get into, they're like, oh, you got to have 5 years experience. Well, where's the job that's 0 to 2?
Yeah.
You know, like how do I get to that? I don't see any of those.
Yeah.
Jobs around.
Where do you start getting the experience to get to the job that wants the experience? Yeah. But all right, let's keep going. So as far as like we know you're in the fitness field, health and everything like that, do you stay up to date on it? Like do you read? Do you do research on it? Do you network a lot? Or did you fall out like I did?
So part of the certifications are the continuing education requirements. And with that, I get the ACSM journal every month, and there's quizzes in there that you can keep up on. I go to national conferences for healthy eating. There was one just in Asheville, North Carolina in August that I went to, and that covered a good majority of my health education specialist continuing education credits. And I'm also pursuing becoming a certified yoga instructor.
Oh, see, that's interesting. Funny enough, I actually do want to get into yoga more.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I don't dislike yoga. I just think it's...
Not
there's
for
different
you.
kinds of it. There's
Not
different
for you.
kinds of it. No, it's for me if it's the right kind. Like, I know there's, like, weird different ways people do yoga. And
There's
there's
hot
hot yoga.
Hot yoga,
Yeah.
slow flow.
Like, I'm all for, like, flexibility and, like, stretching and, like, releasing energy. Like, that, I get it. But, like, I'm not trying to go to no class and, like, have my ass in the air type shit. Like, you know what I mean?
I could do that. I
It's
don't
so
think I have
much
a
more
problem
than
with
that.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know a lot about it, but I know the way I would want to do it. I would just want to do it to get more flexible. That's all.
Flexibility is actually the one component of physical fitness that you don't have to lose as you age.
Ooh,
So hang on to
tracking
that.
knowledge.
Is that a fact?
It sure is.
Can you cite that?
Not
off the top of your head? Oh, okay. So I'm a big proponent of like networking, regardless of what it is. Is that something you think that you struggle with, or do you do pretty well? Like as far as anything, your fields. Like I think talking to people and reaching out is something that like can further yourself in any aspect. So do you agree with that, or do you do
So
it?
it definitely helps to be in the field. That's how I do the majority of my networking, just through my job. But if I wasn't in my job that I'm in now, I probably wouldn't do nearly as much.
Is there a reason behind that? Like, do you struggle trying to talk to people, or do you just not know how like the proper channels to go through?
I feel like everything costs money. So to go to these national conferences, you have to get a flight, you have to pay for the registration, you have to pay for a hotel room. And if I wasn't doing it through work, I would have to foot the bill for all of this. So.
Fair enough. What
Yeah,
about
that's
you, Timo?
tough. That's tough. I mean, like you say, I mean, networking in general can be tough.
Yeah.
Especially, I mean, I don't want to get into like the whole social media aspect of it, but I think like social communication is starting to kind of like have a drop off, like that interpersonal like interaction. Just the talking aspect, like how do you start a conversation and things like that. I mean, just from that aspect of it, it can be tough. Nonetheless, you know, having to go to these conferences and even foot the bills for meeting people that you might not even talk to again.
Right.
Anyway.
Yeah, no, I agree, but I also like to play devil's advocate. I could see the other side where like Sarah's saying it costs money, which is true, and then you're saying like personal connections and stuff are like kind of things of the past, or like kind of not as, I guess.
Well, I'm not saying personal connections are a thing of the past.
But you're saying like social media's taking over, sort of.
To
right?
engage.
Yeah.
And
So
that talking aspect, the social component.
yeah. So
like
to take both of
interpersonal.
those and kind of flip them, like that doesn't cost money. So like to get on Twitter or email or Facebook and reach out to people and talk to them like that, you don't have to get a flight. You don't have to go to a conference. Like you can meet people through those channels. So that's why I see your guys' points, but I also think the exact opposite is like you don't have to have money to reach out and network to people.
Right.
And if we didn't have these social handles, we wouldn't be able to do it without paying and going and flying. So what do you guys think about that?
Some people just have a preference to interact in person, and I think
Which
that,
I do.
Yeah.
But
I think you build a stronger relationship with someone when you have that interpersonal connection.
sure.
You know, it's one
Yeah.
thing to reply to a tweet or send a direct message
Right.
through whatever it might be, even emails or anything.
Yeah.
But when you were able to sit down, read body language, talk, and really engage with that person, I think that's the most.
The valuable part.
I think that's
Yeah.
the most valuable. Yeah.
no, I agree. Yeah, like I said, I was just playing devil's advocate. But I definitely agree with what both you guys said. So we kind of got into this a little bit already, Sarah. But what's your background in general, I guess you could say? So like you already hit on sports, like
Yeah.
hobbies, like other things that you haven't said yet.
I play co-ed softball over the summer, so I like to stay active that way.
Okay.
Yoga and Pilates. I do eventually want to pursue Pilates certification as well. I love going to Nashville.
That's a hobby. You like to go to Nashville?
How many
That's-
times have you been in
At
Nashville?
least once a year. I've been there 2 or 3 times, and we're going again in June for my birthday weekend CMA Fest.
Oh my God. See, I want to go to Nashville. That's one of the places like this year, 2019. I said
Yeah.
I'm going to
Definitely.
Nashville.
That's where Deanna, that's where she is right now, and she told me she wants to go, but I don't know. I just like, and I'm not feeling it, I guess.
Right?
Maybe when
Not
I get
feeling
there,
it.
I'll like it, but I'm like a Vegas guy. I went there once, and that's where I want to go.
It is called Smash Vegas.
Well, maybe that's for her.
I would definitely want to go to Nashville though, and I'm going to do that at some point this year. So
Definitely do it.
Okay. Do you think fitness is something like everyone can get into or should be able to get into, or do you think there's like limitations, I guess? So like, is there certain people that have like mental or physical limitations that will never be able to do fitness, or do you think there's a way everyone can incorporate some aspect of fitness?
So I'm going to flip that a little bit. I don't know if that's allowed.
no, go for it.
I think wellness is something that everybody can get into, even considering your limitations. There's several forms of being well, so whatever your body tells you you need, that's what you should follow. For example, yoga. A lot of people don't like yoga because it's just whether they have vertigo or just their preference. But for me, it works. I feel like I have anxiety, and that's a really good way for me to relax. So that's how I am well, on top of obviously doing cardiovascular and endurance training. Muscular strength training is also important, but everybody has their own idea of wellness, and whatever works for them, they should do that.
Yeah, so that's something I kind of want to hit on. You said everyone has like their own way of like incorporating fitness and doing certain things. Why do you, and I know this just because personally, but to tell other people, why do you choose to do yoga and Pilates and maybe like cardio rather than strength training? Because it's, I mean, and I know you know based on
Yeah.
the field, it's been proven that strength training is some of the best form of cardio endurance you can get. So why do you choose to do one over the other?
I've noticed just with strength training, trying to do squats or bench presses, you constantly have to think about your form, and to me that's just too taxing. I want to just enjoy the workout, and that's how I get through an hour of yoga. But in addition to that, having knee surgery, that's kind of been a limitation with lifting weights for me. A lot of the weightlifting activities tend to aggravate my knee, so I stay away from that a little bit.
So it doesn't help to do any like weight training, because in my head I would think weight training might help ACL tears or any like injuries and stuff like that. So that's interesting.
And it does to an extent, but not like heavy weights. I stay away from that just because I know that my knees aren't great. But lower weights are totally fine. Low reps, there shouldn't be too much aggravation for me.
So is that like I mean, I know you said you have a limitation, but is that like a personal preference? Like, do you just not enjoy strength training? Like I know you said like with your knee there's like a limitation, but like is it also something, because you said it's form intensive, but not that I do yoga, but I know personally just from like listening to other podcasts and seeing it and like kind of being active on YouTube and like watching, yoga is very form intensive as well, only because you don't want to like mess up your joints or like fuck any like body part up. So like I feel like that argument contradicts itself. Like why is muscular strength training form intensive, but yoga's not? But I think they both should be in the same category.
I kind of feel with yoga you're able to listen to your body more easily, whereas with weightlifting you have that one goal of lifting that amount of weight, whichever form you're doing. Yoga is something that you can build on. Personally, for me, the more I do it, the more confident I get with it, and I'm sure strength training would be the same way. But again, I don't want to do something that I know I'm going to pay for in the morning with a sore knee when I can't walk up the stairs.
Yeah. So a big thing for me, which is why I'm like a proponent of strength training, or at least I was and I'm trying to be again, is progress.
Yeah.
So like I feel like yoga doesn't have that, and I know it does. Like you can obviously get more
I'm interested
flexible.
to hear where you go with that, because when you say it doesn't have progress,
no, that's why
like,
I kind of caught it. Like I know there's progress in yoga because you're gonna become more flexible. You're gonna be able to do a stretch that you didn't used to be able to do, or like be more flexible and do something that like you couldn't do when you started, but you could do now. So like I know that's a progress aspect.
You're also building strength in yoga though.
For sure, but I don't think it's even equivalent or closely to what you're gonna build when you're strength training.
Yeah.
And I feel like the progress aspect in yoga, and I could be wrong, so this is why I'm asking, has a stopping point. So like when you're doing yoga, there's going to be a point where like you're going to be able to do a lot of the stretches or 90% of the stretches or whatever. When I don't know, I'm talking just on what I think. But in strength training, there's always going to be a weight you can't lift. There's always going to be a speed you can't run. There's always going to be something that's a next step, no matter what. Like there's plateaus, but there's always something you can't do. And eventually you want to get to it, whether it's even, not that I do it or ever will, but whether it's taking steroids to get through a threshold. Like there's always something you want to do more. So I don't see that in yoga.
I want to hear Sarah's thoughts, because
Me too.
The little that I know about yoga, I mean, there's different levels though. Like
I want to hear it as well.
There totally are different levels of yoga, and the sequencing is a big thing that higher level yoga practitioners can do to challenge themselves. But for me, on a personal level, succeeding at yoga is when I can not only do the poses, have the breathing correctly, but I can take the basic things that I've learned in yoga class and apply them just to my day at work. Like when I'm stressed out, do the deep breathing, do simple stretches at my desk when I know I need to get up and get active. That to me is what makes yoga a success, not really, like you said, lifting more weights. That's not what I would measure success in yoga by. It's more of like how it's helping me get through my day.
The wellness portion of it. So like, and this might be something good that we post afterwards, but I'm kind of curious, like someone who sits at a desk for their job.
Right.
Same.
There's got to be some decent poses or something that can help with like the back strain of like sitting around all the time, for or long periods of time. I'd be curious. I know you can't do that or show it yet, but I'd be curious for you to give me any
feedback on that.
Any feedback.
Sure.
On that.
All right, so this is on the spot. I'm gonna put you on the spot, and I don't care what your answer is.
Okay.
But personally for me, I'd like to not get into yoga, but I'd like to learn some, and you know a lot of it.
Yeah.
So would you be willing? And this is, like I said, yes or no is fine by me. Would you be willing to make some kind of deal where I'll do yoga once a week, because I really would like to learn it, if you come to the gym with me once a week?
Absolutely.
You think we could work something out?
Definitely.
Because I really would like to get into yoga and not get into it. Like I'm not gonna change my whole but I do want to be more flexible. A crazy thing for me is I've never in my life since I was started working out, I've never been able to do a back squat. Still to this day, I cannot do a back squat. And I don't know if you knew that, but my old workout partners do. Whenever I lift, I have to front squat.
Really?
It's this fact, and it sounds probably so stupid. But I've worked out with physical therapists. Like, people know I have horrible upper pec and shoulder flexibility. So I can't put my arm behind my head to hold the bar.
To actually grab the bar?
Not at all. I cannot get my whole hand around a bar behind my head.
Doing yoga a while
By the end of summer,
and
it's gonna happen.
I had a couple of people try to help me with some stretches and stuff, but like I just didn't want to take the time to like develop that, because like you have to stretch. You stretch every day for 30 days, and you might only be able to move an extra half inch. So like I didn't want to. Like I figured, I think front squats are better than back squats anyway. You just can't go as high, but I think they like hit your actual like quads and things better. So I've never thought it was an issue, but I've always wanted to know how much I could back squat. So that's been a huge limitation. That's something why I'd want to maybe get into yoga to maybe.
No idea.
Yeah, we haven't ever, I don't think, done legs together so, or worked out a lot together anyway. So
yeah, I was gonna say I don't know if I've seen you do legs. That's why.
Oh, dude. I know the calves are weak, but I was on my shit for a little bit. All right, so let's keep going. Let's go to my next question. What are some of your favorite subjects in the field? So like the field you study, and what are things that you, because there's things you like and you don't like. What are things that you enjoy to promote or like push? Like some of your favorite stuff.
I'll stick to the health promotion field because that's what I feel like I'm an expert in. And there's so much more to learn, obviously, but
expert.
Compared to the general public in central New York, I feel like I do have an advantage on that. The social cognitive theory, which I'm not sure if anybody's ever heard of, it basically just states that we learn from observing others. Mm-hmm. So it doesn't only consider our internal beliefs and ideas, but our experience outside of ourselves. So that's social interaction in our environment.
So just to cut you off quick, that's something I feel like I've heard in like a psych class or anything or something like that. But social cognitive theory, it's a theory, so it's not proven, correct? Am I saying that right?
No, they're proven.
So theories are proven.
Yes.
For some reason, I thought if something was a theory, it wasn't scientifically proven with facts. It's got a lot of background on it, but it's never been proven to like be 100% a fact. Like science is a fact, math is a fact. Mm-hmm. Like I thought a theory wasn't proven.
So the experiments have been duplicated, which makes that evidence-based.
If you can repeat a scientific experiment, it's proven to be true. Okay, I understand that now. So what do you think? Does that apply to just fitness, or does that apply to
it can apply to any goal? Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can take whatever your goal is and kind of use the constructs of the social cognitive theory to morph a program, and that's what my specialty is in with health promotion programming. Mm-hmm. One thing, just for an example of a concept, are setting SMART goals, and SMART is broken down as an acronym. The S would stand for specific, so make sure that your goal is specific.
Okay, and this, just to reiterate, this applies to any facet of life.
Yes.
You're talking based on health promotions, but you can use this in any other.
Yeah,
that's how I'm looking at it.
That's how I want to make sure.
It's something you can incorporate in anything, whether it be like long-term wise. Okay, I want to get a house. What are my goals?
Yes.
Like, to get to that.
Okay.
Exactly.
So you said S is specific, so just make sure it's very, I guess you could say detailed. Is it under like?
Yeah. So it should enable you to reach your goal.
Okay.
The M stands for measurable.
Okay, that makes sense.
What determines your success is basically what you're measuring your goal off of.
So you're saying like having like checkpoints, goals,
yes.
like not just, okay, that's the broad goal. Now I don't have steps to get there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, right. So for measurable, is it making sure it's realistic? Like, is that a way to
we'll
say
get
measurable?
there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. I'm always jumping the gun.
This is your segment.
The A stands for actionable, so you need an action plan. So you need the steps to get to your large long-term plan.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
The R is relevant, so that's what you were leaning towards.
So it's kind of, you're saying relevant and realistic, like same thing.
Yes, realistic, relevant.
All right, I'm
stuck. So considering your current
Yeah,
situation, it has to be relevant. So if I was to say, since I don't currently weightlift, if I said I want to deadlift 400 pounds, not realistic or relevant because that's not my goal.
All right, so yeah, I'm definitely still held up on that because I don't think those words are synonymous whatsoever.
Okay.
Realistic
So
and
like,
relevant.
Yeah, realistic and relevant are, I personally.
Okay.
I'm done getting into definitions on here. But I don't see how, I get what you're saying, relevant. So like based on what you're doing in your life, it should be relevant, which means like have something to do with you. That's
Quality
what
of
relevant
daily
is.
life.
Yes. But realistic, like you saying I want to deadlift 400 pounds,
Right.
that is realistic. If you said I want to deadlift 400 pounds by Tuesday,
Exactly.
no.
That's what we're saying.
Okay. So I kind of understand a little better now. You get it now, Tino? Because I know you were in the same boat.
I think, yeah, like, are you saying the measurable things make sure that they're realistic too? Like
Yes.
your goals?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
We might have to change that acronym.
And then the final one is T for timely. So that's what we were just saying.
So make sure there's a
There's a
realistic
deadline.
amount of time, or a deadline to
Yep.
hit it. And is the whole program like SMART goals? Is it faceted for short-term goals? Because like timely, I could say like you just said, I'll do the deadlift again. I want to deadlift 400 pounds by August. Like, is that how you set that up, or is it more? It doesn't matter. You can do. I want to lose 3 pounds this week, and then by August I want to lose 14. Like,
You want to apply the SMART goals to both long and short term. So use the SMART goals to create your long-term goal, but then you're going to create short-term goals within that long-term goal.
okay, so that answered my question perfectly. So you want to build short-term goals to reach
Yeah, exactly.
and end all like long-term goals.
Yep.
Okay, that makes sense.
And you can apply this
get
to
it.
any goal.
No, I think that's. I mean,
just the principles of it. I mean, you can
Use
it
with
can carry
anything.
into anything. You can use that with anything. And I think all those
Yeah.
are important things. I mean, having things be measurable, having things be realistic.
Yep.
Not having just a broad goal. Like be specific.
Action
what are you
plan.
trying to? Yes.
yeah. No, I agree. What else? Do you have any other things you definitely enjoy in the field or like to promote?
I think social support is a really big thing.
Social support.
It makes you be accountable for sure. So if I'm just going to go for a walk on my lunch hour break at work, chances are if I get caught up on the phone or if I get invested in an email that I'm trying to finish, I'm going to say, you know what, forget about it.
Right.
But if someone's knocking on my desk or on my door of my office and they say, Sarah, let's go walk, chances are I'm going to put everything away and just get out there and go because I don't want to disappoint them. I know it's a goal we set together, so it's important for me to be reliable. And I know that I will feel better getting outside for a half hour during work.
Okay, so like, what'd you say this was called again? The like
Social support.
social support. Okay, I'm wicked interested in that because that's what I like been preaching for the past 3
Yeah.
weeks is like I struggle a lot in anything almost with accountability.
Right.
Unless I'm very passionate about it. Like this podcast I could do, like I don't need you to be like, Mason, wake up, let's get it done.
Right.
But like as far as like working out, just a bunch of other things, I struggle with like doing it on my own almost. Like when I go in the morning at 5:30, if I don't have someone that's going with me, I don't mind setting my alarm and going back to bed, which is
Right.
like a problem. But like I like to feel like someone is dependent upon me. So like I've been working out with my buddy from work. I've worked out with you. I've worked out with Tyler a couple times. Like knowing they're going to be there or whether they're waking up early or whatever, like knowing that someone else is doing the same thing I'm doing and I'm going to let them down if I don't show up. That's kind of how like I live my life. Like that it's I
Knowing
want
that
someone
you can affect someone else by your
yeah,
decision.
exactly. Like
Yeah.
that's why I hate like I don't like ditching people or like changing plans. Like if I say something and I'm like, yo, Tina, like we made that plan on like Thursday. I was like, Tina, we're working out Monday 6 a.m. And I didn't want to get up, and neither did you. I don't think we talked about that.
No.
But I got up because I knew you were getting up, and like you
Right.
had to drive here. So like I'm not gonna leave you hanging. You know what I mean? Like I think that's definitely a way I live my life. I don't know about you.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's speaking on that. I mean, I think that's why some people are better in a team environment than an individual environment. Like when it comes to achieving goals, like whatever it is, like sports or whatever.
Yeah.
I think some people excel in a team environment because they know other people depend on them or they need them, as opposed to whatever an individual sport, like I don't know, track. You could do track, like just sprinting, like that's it. You
Yeah,
know?
by yourself.
Yeah.
So I know you said, like you kind of were explaining what it was.
Yeah.
But do you live your life like that as well? Like, do you think that relates to you, or like?
Yeah, definitely. Anything like you said that you're passionate about, not only fitness wise, but if you're not a reliable person in general, no one's gonna, hold
Where's
you
the
accountable.
credibility?
Yeah.
All right, so you're thinking like Wednesday morning, 6 o'clock at the gym.
I don't do mornings.
Alrighty then. No, I think that was really cool to talk about, and that I know you said, I don't know if I can pick your brain right off the top of your head. You said you had something that kind of related me and Tino, because we said we were doing this podcast for like an accountability factor.
Yeah.
You said there was like a theory or something that related to like having something beyond like your goal that holds you to your goal. Do you know what that was or no?
So what's coming off the top of my head, there's a model called Stages of Change.
Okay.
So you can basically put your viewers into one of 5 stages, depending on where they align with what their goals are. So if we surveyed all of your viewers today and we got the results back, each of them would fall into one of the 5 categories. So the first one is pre-contemplation. That means they're not at all thinking about changing their behavior.
Okay.
Contemplation is the next stage, and this means that they are thinking about changing their behavior within the next 6 months. Preparation, they're planning to change their behavior within 30 days. Action, they have changed their behavior for less than 6 months. And then the maintenance stage, they've changed their behavior for over 6 months, so it's more of a lifestyle now.
All right, that was a lot to take in.
It was deep.
So
That was a lot. I mean, I just kind of have a broad question.
Yeah.
I just kind of have a broad question on that. I mean, what do you think when it comes to you and setting goals?
Mm-hmm.
What is the hardest part for you? Like, what do you struggle with the most when it comes to setting your goals? Like, where do you get hung up on? Oh, I put you on the spot.
I know.
I like that.
The thing for me is just not forbidding anything for myself. So if I say, Sarah, you can't eat pizza for 6 months until summer's over, I just can't do that, because it's not being able to have it is going to make me want it more.
Right.
So I always tell people, you can indulge, but limit yourself.
So moderation. You
Yes,
teach the
moderation is key. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, see, for me, I think when it comes to goals, like where I get stuck on is not setting, like the checkpoints. Mm-hmm. Like me setting a goal, but then not having like the 6 or 7 steps to make sure, like, okay, you got to hit this to get there. Then from there, you go to hit this.
Yeah.
Good.
I kind of get muffled in between. And then that's where I kind of fall off sometimes, where it's like, oh, okay, well, I'm not getting there. But it's because I haven't planned out what I have to actually do to get there.
Yeah, I think even with starting this podcast, you kind of not force those, but like kind of implemented those goals towards me, because I don't really create small checkpoint steps. I'm a big picture guy. Like, all right, we need this, let's buy it. Bam, we're like, and you're more of a like, all right, well, we need to start with this, and then we need to go here. And like, it was really frustrating for me, because I don't do that in any aspect. Like, I always get my shit done, but like, I just don't go small. And a lot of it helped, because if we didn't have a lot of that stuff done, or had those little meetings we had before we did this, we'd have been missing a lot of like key things that we needed. So I think that's how I didn't know I struggled in that aspect, but maybe it is. Maybe I do need to start setting more like short-term goals to get to a longer-term goal. Mm-hmm. But all right, I got a little speed round of questions. I don't know if we're ready.
She's been dreading this since you said the words speed round when you walked in here.
Here we go.
Yeah, are you ready? Is there anything else you want to hit before I start digging in here?
I need to know what happens if I don't use my pass.
If you don't use your pass, she thought she was putting me on the spot. If you don't use your pass,
you're banned for life from the real bar.
No, because if you don't use your pass, that would be a good thing. So for the first reward ever, we are going to give out 1 free attaboy. So if she doesn't use a pass, I'll give her
a nice pat on the back.
Yeah, pat on the back for sure. And then, which is crazy, in future episodes, we're going to be giving out gift cards, I think.
Right, but only after this one.
After this.
You're welcome, everyone.
Sarah's episode's done, yeah.
So, and we did bring her a coffee this morning, so like, don't act like we didn't do anything for her.
That's not true. I got a sugary smoothie.
Oh, jeez.
Sugary smoothie.
She's roasting.
Now you got to get her with these speed rounds.
She's roasting.
You got to get her with the speed round.
I'm changing
now.
these whole questions up, dude. You're out of your mind. All right. So when we say speed round, it doesn't really mean you have to answer fast. It just means I'm going to kind of fire these questions off at you, and I want the first thing that comes to your head.
I'm sweating already.
Aw.
Well, it is pretty hot up here. It's pretty hot up here. But then after the speed round, I think we have 8 questions. Oh, shit. I went to 10, 11. Wait, what the hell? Oh, different app. Okay. So after the speed round, here we go. We have 8 questions for you.
Okay.
Me and Tina are both going to pick one question and ask you to like fully elaborate on it. So when you're answering these, I kind of just want first thing that comes to your head, like just give me like a few sentences, tell me what you think. and then we'll pick ones that we really want you to dive into after.
Okay.
So got it? All right. Question number 1. What is one lifestyle change you wish you could make but you struggle with? And this is with anything. Fitness, anything. You can real life, personal life.
My love for bagels.
Sorry, say that again?
Yeah. Wait, what was that word? Because I would also like to know what these things are.
Holy shit. I need to hear that again. You love what?
Bagels.
So is that something you put clothes in when you go to a store? What do you mean?
I'm assuming is that something you put cream cheese on?
The
I've heard of.
thing,
Yeah.
exactly, that you eat with coffee.
Oh, okay. And you were born in Rome?
How do you say it?
I say it the way it's supposed to be said.
Okay, well, I'll just say it the way I say it. I won't
Bagel.
say it the way it's supposed to be said.
Sade. We keep saying Sade.
Now it's transferring to me. I say bagels.
Bagels.
How did I say it?
I'm not even going to say it because it's going to hurt my brain.
Wait, so this is what I thought I heard. Bagels.
That's exactly what she
It's
said.
perfect. It sounds just like you guys.
What?
Say it again?
Bagels.
So you don't hear a difference when I ready?
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna say one of them. Ready? Bagels. Ready?
Okay.
Bagels. Bagels.
You get it? You see it now?
Which one do I do? The first one or the second one?
You do bagels.
But they sound both the same to you, though, right? Is that what you're saying?
They're very similar.
Wow.
Maybe I have hard of hearing.
The speed round just turned into the stump round.
Yeah,
Like,
but wait, what?
we're gonna get hung up on this.
I'm literally fucking mind blown. So you're saying
This is your one that we dive into, by the way.
I think this is. No, this is the one we got to dive into.
no, this doesn't
because-
even fucking count
Oh my
because this
God.
is crazy to me right now. So you're saying, just to take even that word out of context. So if you're dating someone and everyone knows like the meme word, if someone calls you bae, you hear that, right? Like, yo, you're my bae, which is what you're saying. And then if you were someone's girlfriend and they said, yo, that's my bae, you don't hear the difference between bagels and baggles? So, yo, that's my girlfriend. Oh, yeah, that's my bae right there. You think that's the same?
I totally hear the difference in that.
So it's just apply it to bagels. So say bae instead of bae.
We're definitely losing viewers because this turned into
No, dude, I'm just fucking.
We're just
that-
sending everybody
Okay,
to
so
get
you said your
bagels for
love of
breakfast.
bagels, which this is how I will pronounce them from now on, moving
Okay.
forward.
So if anyone's listening, you probably tuned out by now. Holy fuck! Start saying bagels. That's the new thing. Question number 2, because I gotta get the hell out of here. What is your favorite thing to do outside of fitness? So like in your real
Oh,
life,
I
in
love to
personal life.
sleep.
Napping.
Sleeping is my
That's-
favorite.
That's oh my gosh, I've got a couple friends that.
At least 8 hours a night, and I'm good.
Gee, I wish.
8
I
hours?
haven't seen 8 hours in.
See, I usually
minimum.
run off
8
4 or
years.
5. That's it.
Oh, I
Boom.
can't.
Done.
I can't even do 7.
Jesus
Wow.
Christ. All right. Number 3. Who is your favorite sister out of your 2 sisters and why?
That's not fair.
Yeah, no.
This
it's
was the
not.
one where like I was looking at the question and I'm like, she's gonna answer this the right way, and it's probably by now.
I obviously don't have a favorite. I love them both equally.
There it is. That's the answer.
All right. Well, maybe this question will get her then.
Oh my god.
What is one thing that one of your sisters do still to this day that really annoys you?
Pet peeve.
Yeah, like a pet peeve that one of your sisters, you just like can't stand it and they still do it.
They definitely don't sleep enough, which really drives me crazy because I think that's super important.
What fucking kind of pet peeve is that?
That's her pet peeve.
I thought she was
You
gonna be like,
gotta
oh,
let her
like
know that.
she clips her toenails and leaves them in the fucking kitchen sink. What the? Oh, they don't get enough sleep,
Oh,
and
I
that
don't
drives
live
me
with
nuts.
them.
That's so like sweet and genuine though. Just like it bothers her that they don't get enough rest.
Because
You
they
know how
need
sweet
it.
that is?
Everybody needs it.
Aw.
It's the fakest answer. All right.
Mason, you're fake.
Boom. It just got real.
Mason's fake. Never heard that in my
The
life.
smoothie's fake.
All right, so question number 5. What's one thing that happened in your life recently or in the past that has changed you negatively or positively? It's like a major like lifestyle of like life event. that happened.
Okay, so I have a 1.5-year-old niece, and she's the greatest thing that's ever happened to me.
Aw.
I gotta really change how I ask these questions because these answers are not what I was trying to get.
No, but these are good. But these are
Not
important
fitness
to the
related.
guest. These are important to the guest. So how? Okay, so just
Yeah.
as a follow up to that. So how did you change or your life change?
Yeah.
Based on before your niece was born and her now.
So I don't think I've changed too much, but it's reinforced why I need to keep physical fitness and wellness as a priority in my life so I could be a good example and role model.
Okay. See, these are good
Mason's
answers. They're
snoozing.
not exciting answers. I see your
Whatever.
face, but these are good answers. These are
Whatever.
quality
dude.
answers.
What the fuck ever.
I'm boring, Mason.
Has fitness, sports, or working out ever helped you to cope with something in your life?
Definitely.
All right, I'm gonna dive into that one later. And then last two questions. Number 7, we have. So rate your experience being here from 1 to 10, and then just dive into that anyway, just because I'd like to know. What do you think what's your experience been like being here today?
So if you could rate us 1 out of 10, boom.
Yeah. Aside from not getting a coffee this morning, I would say it's a 9.
9?
If I had the coffee, I'd be a 10.
And would you agree this is probably the best podcast you've ever been on?
Certainly, because it's the only one.
Hey, can't go wrong with that. All right, I'll take a 9. I thought we were gonna get like a 6.5, 7.
I was waiting for like 6.7.
No, it's so
on
hard
Rotten
to
Tomatoes.
talk about yourself, but you guys do it so naturally and it just is easy. So kudos to you.
I like that.
Aw, thank you.
Appreciate that. All right, then question number 8. What's your guilty food pleasure?
Well.
Baahhguls.
Yeah, you're nerd.
We somehow started. First question was Baahhguls, and we're ending with Baahhguls.
And the name of the episode is gonna be "Come Get Your Bag."
So go ahead, take it away.
I'll give you a list to make it more interesting.
Okay.
All right.
Baahhguls, pizza, ice cream, like milkshakes.
Yeah.
I love Snickers.
It's one of the main food groups.
Definitely want to put her on the spot.
Margaritas. They have a ton of
Is
sugar,
there
but.
more?
All right, I got to
Okay.
put you on the spot quick.
Uh,
Best pizza in Rome.
Tony Sanjay.
Tony Sanjay.
I'm sorry.
All right, changing that subject.
I've just recently learned to dunk it in the hot sauce, and that's changed my life.
New question. I kind of want pizza, but I'm gonna be good. That sounds really fucking good. Have you had their slices or their pies?
Both.
Which one's better?
Oh, this is actually a pretty big topic amongst
I
friends.
prefer the triangle
So the slices.
slices. Yeah.
But do you prefer the slices being delivered, or do you go and get like 2
Oh,
slices?
I
That's
see
what
So
I'm
like what
asking.
he's saying
saying.
is like you go pick up your box.
I'm not asking
or
how
you're
it's
there and
cut.
you get
I'm
your-
asking, would you
Oh.
rather have slices or would you rather have?
I'd rather have the whole pizza.
Oh man, that's crazy. Because I still have this theory that I think they use 2 different fucking recipes.
Depending on if you're coming to pick
Yeah.
it up and it's in a box or like.
Yeah, dude. Because
Really?
my experience with Tony's is their slices are always 10 times better than ordering their pizza. Like I do not order pizza from Tony's for dinner.
You
Like,
have to order the pizza extra crispy.
But I just feel like their slices have a different flavor to them.
I feel like we should bring someone on from Tony's to like really dive in and get the answer to these
Call them up.
We're gonna-
plaguing questions.
We're gonna have to, cause yeah, that's something that's crazy. So Tino, have you picked? We dived into most of these, but have you picked one you want to dive into?
I think he just did with the Tonys.
Gosh, yeah. I mean, when it comes to food, but I mean, I got a question that I'm curious. What's a
Okay.
goal you have for yourself right now? Like whether it's long term or short term that you're
I like that
currently
question.
trying to
Yeah.
achieve.
So the yoga teacher training certification doesn't start till next month, and it's for 6 months. So one goal I have is getting into half monkey pose by the end of the training.
Half monkey.
Yeah, I do half monkey a lot, and it's good for you. No, for sure. And I'm sure a lot of people listening have been in the half
It's
monkey.
hard for very tight hamstrings, so
Yeah.
I'll show you
Do you
later.
want to? I was gonna say, do you want to clear that up? Let people know it's a yoga position, right?
Yes.
It's, okay. No, because I've heard of half monkey, but it wasn't in that context. So I was just making sure.
See, I know all like the simple, not all the simple poses, but like downward
Child's
dog or like
pose.
child's pose.
Mhm.
Cat's
Missionary.
pose.
Mountain.
Is there cat's pose?
Yeah.
Cat's?
There's a cat and cow pose.
Okay. So I know like those ones, but I've never heard of
Half monkey.
Half monkey.
Half monkey.
Lizard's pretty good too.
Downward dog.
Downward
Yes,
dog.
there's that.
Regular doggy.
Okay.
Oh, that's not one of them.
I'm not sure.
Oh,
I'd have
no,
to go
yeah,
back-
I was
I'd have
hoping
to go
she
back and look
knew.
in the yoga book, but
Okay, no, I thought that was one.
Nope.
Okay. Fair enough. Fuck. All right. I guess the one I do want to dive into, which we already kind of hit on pretty well, but
Don't say
just for ourselves,
Mm-hmm.
is for me and Tino at least. Why'd you rate the experience so well? I know you said we're natural at talking, or at
Yeah.
least kind of, but why else? Like, what else did we do that made you feel more comfortable?
It's
if
just
you
a
did.
natural environment. There's nothing else like this in this area that I know of. So I think that's a huge bonus for you guys. It would be nice, for someone just coming into the field to be able to listen to this and see what else is out there in this area. That would definitely have been nice networking purposes when I just graduated from Brockport with my exercise science degree. Of course, there was nothing like this, so you can't make the connections without knowing who's out there.
Okay. you got here around like 9 o'clock, and we didn't start until probably closer to 10:30, I would say.
So what's something we can work on?
Punctuality would be nice.
Well, I don't even think it's the punctual part, because Tino, you were about 5 minutes late. But
Which is on time usually for me.
Yeah.
But what do you think we can do better to start this on time? Like, because we had some technical difficulties, stuff like that.
So maybe just having all of the equipment set up before your guest comes in. And then
So actually be ready.
to go by, say, you guys told me 9 o'clock, so make sure everything's set up and you can jump right into the trial runs and the chit-chat beforehand.
All right, yeah, I think that's something we should start doing anyway, is like...
Like if we say 9, let's
Start setting up
at
at
9.
8:15.
Not like
Well, I was going to say,
10:30's here.
if we're going to tell the guests 9, then me and you have to be here at 8.
Mm-hmm.
So if we're not, like, I don't want
So we're
to
not telling the guests 9.
Yeah, we're going to start telling the
guests
guests. We're going to start telling the guests 10, so we can have it set up, because it usually does take us about an hour with everything. So I think that's good feedback to make
And
sure we set
Also
up earlier.
use plain Greek yogurt instead of frozen yogurt in the smoothie.
Yeah,
Have an assortment of Baahhguls.
I was going to say we're definitely not going to do that, but I appreciate you saying that.
Less sugar, Mason.
Fuck you.
That was sweet. That was sweet.
We have a love-hate relationship. She loves me, I hate her. All right, I think I asked her everything I wanted to kind of hit on. What about you, Tino? Anything you still want to know, or because I know you don't really know her as well as I do?
Yeah, I guess I would say it can be fitness or whatever it is, but an interesting question that I always ask people is, because they always say there's nothing to do in Rome.
Oh.
What is something you like to do in Rome?
That is a hard question. I think just staying active, whether it's joining a gym. So a lot of people go to Planet Fitness. You can meet people that way. Just going for a walk in the neighborhood. We're really lucky to have the safe environment that we do have here. So take advantage of it by getting outside. The sidewalks are really nice, which you might not even notice.
Shout out to Rome for the sidewalk.
No, but you're right. You're right. I mean, like, it's conducive if you compare it to other communities
Exactly.
and stuff that you're
So-
not able to do that. Sometimes you have to drive elsewhere just to go for a walk.
When I lived in Delaware for my master's degree, I would actually drive to a park just to feel safe and be able to walk by myself without being worried about.
So it's the little things, just being able to walk out your house door and start walking.
Exactly.
I've been on the rollerblade kick too. So if
There you
get-
go.
Once
I
summer
do.
comes,
No, I rollerbladed like 2 weeks ago.
oh no, not me.
I was out there, doc.
Summer comes right down Fish Hatchery Road.
I do have a snowboard for the winter, but I haven't gone snowboarding since tearing my ACL. So that's something I should get back into because it's right up the road.
See, that's another thing. Woods Valley.
True.
Mhm.
I skied like 5 times in my life, but I don't know, it's fun. Last question I'm going to ask. Tino asked me this week too. I asked him at week 3 because I liked it. And it kind of just will like sum up the podcast, I guess, and who you are. That is the question, is like, who are you today?
Who is Sarah Eggan?
If you had to describe yourself in a few, I don't know, actors
Yeah.
or whatever.
I am a professional person in the health and wellness field that can be an advocate to making people healthier. I like to be a good role model for others. I like people to come ask me questions related to physical fitness and wellness. I'm an aunt, which is like the greatest job ever so far. And my sisters are everything to me. So doing stuff with my sisters while making it healthy is, I guess, who I am.
And what is your greatest quality?
Oh, God.
Or your favorite quality? It doesn't have to be your greatest or your favorite quality. Something that you notice.
This is so hard.
You don't have to be modest.
For the most part, I'm easygoing, I think.
I would say you're easygoing. She's
Mason?
easy to talk to. She's very easy to talk to. I feel like if I'm talking to her, she's actually listening.
Genuine, I would say.
That's a good word.
Perfect.
She stole my fucking thing. I'm genuine. No, I agree. Easygoing. That's definitely a good adjective, I guess, right?
I try to be anyways.
All right, I think we're good. We got all our answers we needed, right? Just for the listeners, thank you for listening. Thanks for coming back for episode 4.
Great. Thank
Hopefully
you to
stuck
Sarah.
around.
Thanks for having me.
Can I get my thank you?
I know I gotta jump in because I know if I don't,
Jesus,
catch
dude.
flack for it.
Yeah, we'll hear it after the
Yeah,
podcast.
exactly.
But
But I gotta make sure. Say thank you to Sarah.
thanks for listening. Thanks for coming back to episode 4. Hopefully you stuck around long enough to hear our first guest. Hopefully you liked our first guest. It was awesome for us. I think I had a great time like talking about things. You did too as well, right? You're gonna be able to find this podcast on Spotify, hopefully iTunes soon, SoundCloud obviously, and should be YouTube like always. But you never know what's gonna happen in post production. So, but other than that, I just hope everyone has a good week. Sarah, I appreciate you coming on. And
Yes, thank you.
Thanks for
Also, I'm
having
gonna
me.
have to get with you on the yoga poses
Yeah.
too. 'Cause I think that actually might be something we could post for other people because a lot of people have desk jobs. You know,
sure.
I'm always in a chair and my back is always tight and bothering me.
And I'm definitely gonna follow up with that deal we're gonna make after we cut the camera. But
I just want to see you in a half monkey. That's it. So
yeah, that's you can't see me in half monkey because normally it's a different scenario. But yeah, thank you. I appreciate everyone coming out and listening. And like always, all feedback is appreciated. So this is The Real Bar, and we'll talk to you later.
take care.